Oh, right here. I'll be making a god today because my old god it's pretty outdated. It's not good because there's a lot of new features, a lot of new stuff in the game. So I'll be going over everything you need to know about this game. Basically, this is just basically a basic starter guide for anybody starting trying to get into the game. I'll be doing this alongside my friend Toppin. I'll be linking his channel in the description, so if you want to go check him out, that'd be fire. And yeah, that's about it. And yeah. So when you first spawn in, you'll be met with a "what is your name" thing. You can just name yourself whatever, but if you name yourself something that will get filtered by Roblox, it will auto generate a name for you. That is usually that you'll probably see in like it'll be in like a Japanese like kind of name, right? Like Shinji, Shuji, Aiko, stuff like that. So just name yourself something like that you know, or you're like you know, are positive won't get filtered. So I'm just gonna name myself. Right. I don't think that will get filtered. And I spawned in as a Kamizuru in the Stone Village, and I have Striker. So as you can see, everything here you're able to roll except for your village, and I'll be talking about that later into the video. But everything else you're able to roll. Now it does cost Robux, but everything here you can change for free, but you'll have to wipe, and I'll explain wiping in the permadeath section. So after that, just click save and exit. Now, when you click save and exit, you'll be greeted with this. Do you want to take the tutorial? Click yes, because the tutorial, it gives you not only a characteristic that gives you plus 50 HP at the end, but as well as you get it tells you it goes over like a brief summary of a lot of the stuff that I'm explaining in this video. So I strongly recommend taking the tutorial, then coming back to this video, because I'm going straight to the boss. So do the tutorial. Once you get to the boss, come back to this video. I'm just going to be doing a quick voiceover of the fight, but as you can see during the fight, it started hitting me like I started, I subbed, and then after that I went into M1, got into an air combo. You do that by doing 2 or 4 M1s and then doing a right click, waiting for it to come back to me, and then boom. Right? It doesn't really take that many combos to kill it. It really only takes like around 2 full M1 combos, 2 to 3 full M1 combos, and it's down. And then after that, you get the talent, which gives you plus 50 HP. See, at the end of the tutorial, I was given a characteristic as well as a free rank up to, I think it's Academy 2. So yeah, F rank, that's Academy 2. So I was given a free rank up to Academy 2 as well as the basic training talent. This gives plus 50 HP. Really good, really nice to have. One of your, I guess, this is basically a requirement. Joining the communication server. Now, to join the communication server, you have to go down in the game's communications like thing where you find all the social links for the game. The communication server is going to be right there. That's where you'll join your village Discord. I cannot stress this enough. You basically need to be in in the game Discord as well as your village's Discord to actually rank up or go past Chunin or go past Genin, because that's how you get get notified of when Chunin exams are, when trainings are, when people are hosting trainings, when people are doing anything, because it's just really like recommended, because this is once again a lore game, right? This is a permadeath game. This is like it's very community orientated. So with that comes just a lot of communication servers where people can talk to each other, everybody can bond or get to know each other, because having like friends in this game is a really big thing, or getting to know people is a really big thing.
Alright, yo, what's up? Toppin here, the Kazekage, and I'm here to basically go over the basic ranks and how to rank up, and just, go over explaining, some tips about how ranking up works. So before, you even start, like, just going into, like, everything involving ranking, like Rex said, is very important to do the tutorial, because you basically skip, like, all the basic ranks you have to do. So through Academy 1 and 2, you'll get Auto Academy 3, because if you don't do the tutorial, you have to do the basic training, learning all the information you already should learn from the tutorial. So make sure you definitely do the tutorial, because it helps you with everything Rex said, and you skip through the basic ranks of Academy 1 and 2. So with that being said, as Academy 3, all you have to do is basically do a simple test, different between villages. So say whenever you join Sand or you join Stone, of course the test would be a little different, but it'll help you, learn the basics of the game, and that's basically like the whole point of Academy. So when you become Genin after the test, you'll learn the basic combat and mechanics of the game. So between Genin 1 and 6, so you have 6 ranks of Genin, 1 through 6, and you'll basically be learning like all the basics of the game and mobility. So make sure you dial in when your senseis are talking and teaching you. But if you don't have a sensei currently active to teach you, there's another way you can rank up through missions. Now, missions, you'll either find like a mission board, usually towards the front of your village, and that would be like, like how you rank up. So basically, there's advanced solo, advanced basic, and you'll be able to queue for missions and gain EXP. EXP is like the main way to rank up even in the later ranks. So like that is when you do Chunin exams. We'll talk about Chunin exams soon, but not to go too in depth. That is how you become Genin through Chunin, and there's also different ways to become Genny through Chunin, but like we'll talk about it later throughout this video in terms of field promotions and stuff like that, not to go too in depth. But after you become Chunin, you have to become Chunin 1 through 6, and your main way of ranking up as Chunin is EXP. So missions, hosting trainings is probably like the most EXP because you can also get talents that help you out with hosting trainings. But missions, PDs, anything of that sort will help you rank up. So now after tuning, you'll be able to, be more active in your divisions or like in your village. After tuning, everyone knows is Jonin. So Jonin is more complicated of getting that rank. Of course, there's everything with Jonin exams that we'll cover later in the video. But to go briefly into depth, so Jonin, is a lot harder. There's a big difference between tuning and Jonin. So tuning, is just a lot smaller in terms of like the lore you can get as Jonin, but you basically it's the same thing. You have Jonin 1 through 6, and you'll get rank ups from EXP, like that is basically the basic concept of rank up as Jonin, and you'll get it from PDs, same thing, trainings. And after Jonin, you'll be able to become like HR ranks. So there's, like the branch offs, clan head, council, assistant, and Kage. So basically that's like all between like your village. Like once you climb the ranks and you get Jonin, you'll probably fully understand the basics of HRs inside your village. And we'll of course go more in depth with that once we get to like those topics.
Another slot to show you guys how your natures and traits work, as well as I will be going over clans and their variants in the next segment on this same slot. So we're gonna start with that. Your natures are, as you saw before, predetermined, but you can roll them. Now, depending on what your natures are, you can only buy stuff from that tree. For example, if I have my first nature is lightning, I can only buy lightning moves. I can't really see what my second nature is wind, so I can only buy wind moves. So with that, as you can see, I have thunderbolt, great breakthrough, wind repulse, all wind and only wind and lightning moves. Now, the 3 other trees, those 3, Tai Jutsu, Medical Ninjutsu, and Miscellaneous. Now, these 3 anybody can get. Like as you can see, I have Leaf Whirlwind and I have Rising Wind. Anybody can get those stuff from that tree, so there is no need to worry about that. Your traits you can find on the wiki. Now, the thing about traits is that you can roll them, but they don't affect gameplay as much as you would think they would. But if you really do care about them that much, you're free to roll them and free to buy them whenever you want. So that's just a thing in the game. But I will be putting down the wiki down below so you can see what your trait does. Now, mastered, I know that mastered gives you faster hand signs. So whenever I cast a jutsu, I have faster hand signs than other people might have them, but it's not like crazy, right? It's not super game breaking. So just remember that whenever you're getting your traits. I will be having the wiki will be down below in the description once again for anybody that wants to check out like what your trait does, or even like clan Kegekai. A lot of the stuff that I will be talking about you can find on the wiki in much more detail. and it'll talk about whatever you need. It'll have whatever you want specifically on that wiki. So I highly recommend looking at the wiki after this guide. Every clan has a Kekkei Genkai that they can achieve through clan prog, as well as they spawn in with different variants. Now, every variant or most variants are cosmetic. You'll just look a little different from your other clan members, except for two clans. Those two clans being Uchiha and Hyuga. Hyuga had starting off with Hyuga, you have a 25% chance to roll main branch. If you don't roll main branch, you will become a side branch. You'll be able to tell your side branch off your hair color, and if you have a seal mark. So right here, I press a right bracket, and I'm able to see that I have a seal mark, right? Meaning that I am a side branch. Now, Hyugas that are main branch responding with glowing eyes as well as red hair, and they won't have a seal mark. The other thing about it is that they get max prog, and I'm pretty sure buffed HP. But it's just really good, right? Spawning as a main branch is really good. And the other one is Uchiha, which Uchiha gets Genius, and they spawn in with Prodigy as well as T3. So both variants are really good. If you get like Genius Uchiha, you're set, as well as main branch, you're pretty much set, right? Permanent death events are staff-hosted events in-game where anybody attending is able to get wiped/lose all their progress. These are the biggest aspect of the game and are the main point for anything happening in lore and in-game. Because of this, lore is always enabled during permanent death events, so stuff you do or say can affect something else in-game or in lore. An example could be, you said death to the Hokage, and now you're branded a criminal for life by the Hidden Leaf, and any allies of the Hidden Leaf now do not mess with you and do not want to fuck with you. Permanent death events have two types: lore-based events and sandboxes. Sandbox events are PDs with no type of storyline and are PDs where players can kill people, progress their clan, or do whatever they please. Though lore is still enabled, and anything you do or say can affect in-lore things. Lore-based events are PDs with storyline usually hosted by a lore team that allow players to invest themselves and immerse themselves in a storyline. Most of these PDs have multiple outcomes, so it's just solely like up to the players to get what outcome they want, or whatever's like up for grabs for them, basically.
So now to talk about characteristics and Prodigy. So characteristics are the talents of the game. They're things you obtain, when you meet the requirements. To access your characteristics, all you have to do is press tab, and you see here there's the characteristics tab, and you just click on it, and it will basically list all your characteristics. Now you get your first ever characteristic from just completing the tutorial, which is called basic training. Characteristic like basic training has a buff, or like something that helps you in a fight or anything like that, as everything is unique and will help you out. So each characteristic has a rarity, or like the level to it, the lowest being common or basic, and the highest being celestial. Celestial talents are gained through lore, or just overall being of use, or like being that type. So basically it's hard to explain for now, but for now, celestials are just things that you have to build up lore for. One celestial that you can actually get from birth is something called Prodigy. Now Prodigy is something that you're born with, and you get a boost in all stats. Prodigy is something that is related to your clan, and you can also build your lore up of becoming Prodigy. So whenever you are a Prodigy, make sure you always check before you make your character. But if you ever are a Prodigy, make sure you pursue the lore in that terms. So characteristics are gained by just attending PDs or just doing lore actions, and can be granted by executive members. So lore actions as in like, you finish a battle or something like that, you'll get, given TP, you'll have like the swirls, like just like you get EXP. And if you get a talent, a black circle will appear right above your screen. You'll just click on it, and you'll be given options to take a talent. Now it is very important that that you can also burn talents. There's like multiple checks to make sure you want to burn a talent, but when you do burn a talent, you can no longer roll it. and that's just something for builds. But I recommend not burning a talent unless you know you don't want to roll it.
Clan progression allows you to unlock unique abilities based on your clan through meeting certain requirements in game. For example, if you're in a Chiha, to unlock Tomboy 1, you need to watch somebody die. To unlock Tomboy 2, you need to grip, I believe, like a few Genins or one Genin in order to unlock Tomboy 2, and Tomboy 3 allows you have to grip a certain rank, right? Other clans like Yome, for example, you have to get low in the PD and you have a chance to unlock Water Predict. Same for rotation for Hyugas. You have to get low in the PD and you have a chance to unlock rotation. Every clan has their own unique form of progression that is listed on the wiki. Now, each clan, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it, some clans might be better than others in certain fields. For example, Lee, for example, might be better than Miyajima in ones, simply because Lee is just meant for 1v1s, right? It's a taijutsu clan. Or Hoki might be better in the mobility department than it will be in like actual fights. But when it comes to mobility and getting stuff and getting away from your opponent or creating distance, it's a really good clan, right? It really depends on what your playstyle is, and that's why that's why clans are like such a big part of the game, because they're like, your clan can also be a big part of some of your lore, right? Stuff about your clan, or maybe how you feel your clan treats you, or how you're treated because you're your clan, right? Your clan is like, clans are like probably the biggest part of this game, and clan progression is probably one of the things you want to focus on as soon as you hit like getting 6, right? Because because you don't going to Chunin Exams with clan progression is like really good, because there's usually people that already have it, right? And you don't want to unlock it mid Chunin Exams, because then what if you're like Hyuga, for example, you have to get low assist. You want to get it done before you go to Chunin Exams. That's what I highly recommend. Now, version 2s of clan progressions, or tier 2s. Now, tier 2s of clan progressions are basically just evolved forms of what your clan's Kekkei Genkai was, or what their unique abilities were before. So, for example, the most generic example I could think of is a Chiha, for example. A Chiha, Mangekyo Sharingan, right? Now, Hyuga has Twin Lion Fist. Yuki has Black Ice. Oribe has Inferno Orbs, or Azure Orbs, right? Blue Orbs. Yome has Total Rage. Every clan, like, not every clan has a V2 currently, but every clan is eventually going to have a V2. Every clan is going to have a V2. It's just not every V2 is finished, but eventually every clan will have a V2, and the V2s are really good when in comparison to the V1s. Now, some clans V1s can't compare to V2s, or some of the stuff that their V1s allow them to get. For example, Uchiha has a legendary talent that they can get once they have T3, called in our Genjutsu path, called, I think it's called Precise Visionary or something like that. Now, it allows them to dodge anything for around, I believe, 30 seconds, or have like a really high chance of dodging anything for 30 seconds, and it's like a move. It's a really good talent, and it compares to V2s, because MS, for example, is not as obtainable as some of the other V2s are, right? Because it's Mangekyo Sharingan. So it really depends on what clan you have, but every clan is good. I cannot stress this enough. Every clan is good. No clan is genuinely bad. Like, for example, Senju gets buffed HP. Buffed HP regen out of combat. A ton of wood moves. A really good V2. And that the V2 isn't that hard to get either. Every clan is good. So don't feel bad if you get like a clan that's not, that most people might be not trying to get, because one of the best things you can do on this game is be different. And that, like, that, I feel like that especially needs to be said. It's fine to be different. It's really good to be different in this game, because if you're different, you can set yourself apart from other people, and that gets you noticed more easily for more opportunities. That's all I had to say about this. That's V2s and clan progression. Please look on the wiki for any like clan progression you might have. If you're Lee, Senju, all that, anything. Look on the wiki so you can see your pro.
Chunin Exams is the event that takes you from getting 6 to Chunin. It is the event that is the mid stage of the game and helps you basically fully master the mechanics of the game. So before you even start in trying to do Chunin exams, you want to make sure you listen to the step that Reich said about joining the communication server. Without being the communication server, you cannot see the dates, times, or even getting on a team by itself would be almost near impossible without joining the communication. So when you're in the communication server and you are getting 6, each communication server is different depending on the village, but it's pretty much the same. So your main goal should be just getting on a team. Usually they post a list or like they ask you to DM them. So when you officially end up becoming on a team, you would have to wait for either Sunday, Saturday, or Wednesday for the tuning exam dates. Sometimes they'll happen, other dates, but those are usually the main dates tuning exams happen. So while you're preparing for the tuning exams, the best thing to do is just to get the talent flash step by just getting to 250 dashes and just preparing yourself by overall getting your clan prog and just learning the mechanics of the game. So right before tuning exams, all you do is join the land called Forest of Death. It's like right before you join, and it's like a little icon you'll see. It will be called Forest of Death. So when they tell you to join, all you do is join, find your village, find your team, and line up and sit patiently. The longer it takes you to line up with your team and sit patiently, the longer the exam will take to start. When everyone listens and follows directions and sits in their team patiently, the exam will start sooner and it will be more easier to host. Instead of just going off on your own and doing random things, that will take the event longer time to host. So when you're in the actual exam, there's different events: hunt, 3v3s, scroll phase, and many more. So it's really up to the host to decide the factor of the exam that it would be. But whenever which exam it would be, they would give a brief explanation, and even in your village, there would be an explanation of the exam. So whenever you're in, all I can recommend is stay together with your village. Make sure you listen to your suggestions and everything you have, all your tools, and make sure you just follow directions. That's all I could do for the tips. So after you complete the tuning exams, and yes, you can take it as many times as you want. There is no cooldown or anything like that. All you have to do is become Genin 6. And after you complete the tuning exams, you'll achieve the rank of Chunin. So another thing that ties along with tunings is the fact of injury and limb loss. So yes, tuning exams is in PD like many other important events, and when you are in PD, you have a chance of injury, and even worse, limb loss. So injury is something that happens when you get at least about 5%, I would say, and it will say I can't continue battling, or something along those lines, and it'll tell you you have to get out now or you'll get an injury. So there is basically a couple of injuries in the game that you can get. There's a headache, knee injury, chest injury, and I don't know if there's any more, but basically these injuries will impact your gameplay. So basically a headache, of course your screen would start shaking and your vision would be obscured. When you have a knee injury, you won't be able to like run as fast as you usually do, and you'll have like a limp. You'll walk with a limp. And with a chest injury, you'll just take overall more damage. Now with limb loss, this is permanent. Regular injuries just take about 30 minutes to wear off, or you have a medical specialist with divine respiration, or just anything along those lines would heal a regular injury. Now a limb loss is something that's permanent. Losing an arm or a leg, that is something that's permanent, and there are certain jutsu that can do that, and it has to be NPD. Force of death in tuning exams actually have a greater chance of you losing a limb, but it's not too great, but it's still a greater chance. So whenever you lose a limb, say you lose an arm, you won't be able to cast jutsu unless you have one arm casting. It's a lore characteristic you have to get through player lore progression, and or if you lose a leg, you have to learn hop style. This is like the workarounds for losing a limb. So it's not just saying like you lose a limb you have to wipe. You can get one arm casting or hop style. And with that being said, you just have the PLP for them, and they're pretty simple. So that's basically just injuries in general.
Paths are talent trees that you're able to obtain once you've hit the rank of Chunin. To gain a path, you need to go to the mist, and once you hit the entrance and in the sand where the beach is, there'll be a dock. At the very end of that dock, like facing forward, there'll be a NPC near one of the poles. Once you talk to him, he'll give you a talent roll. You'll be able to choose between 5 paths. These paths are ninjutsu, kenjutsu, genjutsu, medical ninjutsu, and taijutsu. Depending on what your build is, you are more likely to lean towards a certain path. For example, if you are in a Chiha with, let's say, Coward, or just in a Chiha in general, you're gonna probably want Genjutsu, mainly because that is how you're gonna get the legendary talent or the dodge move, Precise Visionary, which allows you to dodge for like a certain amount of time, right? Another good one could be Chinoiki. If you're Chinoiki, you're probably gonna want to go Genjutsu for a better Blood Eye Genjutsu or something of that sort, right? Or if you're Lee, you're gonna probably want to go Taijutsu. Some clans are just better catered to certain paths. Now, most of the time, you're either going to be going ninjutsu or taijutsu or medical ninjutsu. Mainly because kenjutsu is more for people who are samurai or have kenjutsu training, which is right now pretty not as common, but it's not as uncommon as you think either. But you only go down kenjutsu if you already know you're gonna have kenjutsu training prior to this. Now, it's not recommended that you go genjutsu without a clan that has genjutsu, like basically a Chihan Shinoiki. But if you want to, for the talent that I believe it makes it so you're unable to be seen by copywood, then so be it. That's your build. But personally, I don't recommend it, and a lot of people won't either. When you pick this path, the talents you will roll will be like basically from this path. For example, for a good example is you picked taijutsu, so you'll roll talents that help you M1 faster, doing more M1 damage, right? But you won't be able to roll paths or roll talents from other paths unless you have that path. Now, in a lot of cases, you will have universal talent rolls. So whenever you gain enough TP, alongside your path talents, you'll also see universal talents. It's good that you don't get these mixed up, but most of the time, I'm pretty sure it'll say under the card from your path, right? But you can check all of this on the wiki, and there will be a Trello linked below for you to check all the talents and check what talents you can get in your tree. Now, you may be wondering, if you get to the wiki, wills. Now, wills are more of a Jonin thing, and I'll get in more in depth with those on the next video for Chunins going into Jonins and Jonin exams, and like a lot of the other, and talking about all the other lands and stuff like that. But wills basically are Jonin paths, so they are arguably better than the paths you get initially, because they have a lot of good, some of them, the 3 paths that you can choose from: Harmony, Yin, and Yang. Harmony has good utility, Yin has really good offensive ability, and Yang has extremely good medical ninjutsu utility. Usually, if you're going for a more offensive 1v1 build, you're gonna go Yin. But if you're going for a more boss raid-ish or universal build that works for everything, you're gonna go Harmony. And if you're medical, you're gonna go Yang. I'm not gonna go too in depth with that right now, but in the second video that I will make for Chunins and Jonis, I'll go more in depth with the wills and how those work. So I put a document in the description for lore. I highly recommend looking at that if you want to know what's going on during these lore PDs that will be hosted by Lore Team or anything going on with the mainland in general, or even other lands, I highly recommend looking at that document, as a lot of it ties into what happens currently, because the past events affect current events. Other than that, though, I really want to appreciate you for watching. Like, Noble, I really appreciate it. I hope this helped, cause I know getting into the game could be really confusing and shit. But for me, I really appreciate anybody who watched, and anybody who actually watched like till the end. This is definitely one of those videos where you just leave it in the background, kinda. But I did leave like little boxes where you could like terms that somebody might be like unfamiliar with. Feel me? Like they'd just be defined. But once again, thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Please like the video, and please subscribe. I usually don't say that shit, but please do. And yeah, that's about it. I'm gonna see y'all later.